What is up, YouTube? Live via satellite here, and today we are talking Kingdom. And in particular, guys, today I wanted to talk a little bit about Ousen'S strategy. Alright guys, now there's been a big mystery going around what Ousen could possibly be up to. And I'm not going to act like I have any idea what he's up to or what he could possibly be planning right now. But instead, I wanted to talk about a tactic that Ousen may be using to get the best out of his men, even now while it looks like he's doing nothing at all. But in order to get this, what I really want you to think about is the Coalition War. When we had the Coalition War, right, and all the armies were against Quinn, right? Quinn had to do everything in his power. He had to dig deep, find all the resources necessary for them to be able to win that battle. But because they were on the edge of being wiped off the face of the earth, they pulled no punches. They did everything in their power to make sure that they weren't defeated. And when you look at the Zhao campaign, even Roboku himself warned Quinn about going against them because they should know as well as anybody that when a state is facing its demise, then there's nothing that the people of that state won't do to ensure their survival. So when you're fighting against a force like that, there's something different. There's something special about those people at the time because their entire existence is dependent on whether or not they win. So how do you as a general compete against that? And I think the strategy that Ousen is using now is the reason why he's going to wind up winning this battle, and also the reason why Roboku and the Coalition Army lost their battle. And this all stems from a passage I read in The Art of War, where it said, "Throw your soldiers into positions whence there is no escape, and they will prefer death to flight. If they will face death, there is nothing they may not achieve. Officers and men alike will put forth their uttermost strength." And to make this an even simpler example, most people have heard the phrase burn the boats. And what that means is if you want to conquer an island, when you arrive on the island that you intend to conquer, you burn the boats. This way you have no recourse, you have no escape, you have nowhere to go but to achieve what you set out to do. Now when you take a look back at the Coalition War, yes, Roboku brought all these armies with him, but in the back of everybody's mind, if things didn't work out, guess what? They could always turn around and march back home. Even though they didn't plan for it to go that way, what ultimately happened was they wound up retreating because the Quinn would not roll over and die. They would not go quietly into the night. So they weren't prepared for the type of fight they wound up getting out of the Quinn. But now if you look at what Ousen has done, he realizes that going up against the Zhao, they are going to be coming at them with everything they have because of the situation they're in. They cannot afford to let the Quinn win, otherwise their state faces potential collapse. So they're going to fight with a different type of intensity. So what did Ousen do by setting foot deeper into Zhao territory, even though he knew that they would be cut off by armies at Retsubi and their supply line would also be cut, therefore putting them under a time limit? He basically burned the boats. It's now a situation where it's do or die. If they do not win, they die. And mentally, all the troops know this. So essentially what Ousen has done here is he's made his army stronger than they would be under normal circumstances. And I'm not just talking about physical strength, I'm talking about mental strength as well, where people were being forced to be innovative and think outside the box. And we've even actually seen it in play with the awakening and new skills of Shin, Ohan, and Moten. And yes, even though the Zhao are at a point where they also think that everything depends on this battle, ultimately if they were to lose Gyo, they still have the ability to fall back to Kanton, where they can regroup and try to make plans to retake Gyo. Whereas the Quinn army is in a more desperate situation, which makes them a much more dangerous opponent. And I wouldn't be surprised if later we found out that Ousen actually created this food shortage earlier than it needed to happen, and that he may have more supplies than we actually realized, because nobody besides Ousen really knows what they actually have left. When we left Retsubi, we saw that the food supply went on for as far as the eye could see. And if you remember in chapter 539, they had already started rationing the food supplies by day 2 of the battle. So I kind of even think like Ousen's using this desperate situation to his advantage. And it would just go to show how far Ousen's willing to go to manipulate the battlefield. But we may find out soon enough that even this was a part of his master plan. But as usual guys, these are just some thoughts I was having and I just wanted to make a video about it, see what you guys thought. But anyway guys, that about does it for this video. Let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments section below. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video and feel free to share, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.